Ahoy mateys! Welcome back to Agatha Christie and Then There Were None, where I have been told by some commenters that we are approaching the end of the game. I am excited. This has been a fun game to play. Last episode, I just have a million different theories now, and they're all going in a bunch of different directions. And I'm sure if you've been tuning along, you're well familiar with that, so I'll stop rambling and we'll get right into it. I have been advised that this game does have multiple endings, and about now I should save the game to make sure that I can get them all, or at least try to get them all. So we will be doing that. Now. So if I'm not mistaken, all we have left is Lombard, Vera, and Blore. And Blore is my favorite of the three, like hands down. I'm just not sure where they are. Let's go see if we can find everyone.
Interesting ashtray. Birds everywhere.
Lots and lots of birds. Confuses me why sometimes we get this cutscene and other times we don't. Okay, let's see if I can even remember whose room is which. I know that Lombard and Vera are around the corner. I think this is them.
It's locked fast.
She locked her door. We can probably just come in through the balcony. This is Lombard's place.
I don't think going through that would help. Either he's innocent, in which case I'd be grossly invading his privacy,
yes.
or he's guilty, and surely wouldn't be daft enough to leave any evidence in his luggage.
I just don't believe that Narracod actually cares about people's privacy when, like, 7 of the 10 people on this island have been murdered now. Or so they say. Alright, can we just sneak into Vera's room like this?
It's locked fast.
Ah, she totally locked herself in. Alright, how about Blore's room? Where's he? This is Brent, who I'm also suspicious is not actually dead. In fact, you know what? Somebody said I can use the fingerprinting on top of her makeup box, so let's give that a try real quick. I'm not sure it'll help us, though, because we don't have anybody else's prints.
The flower stuck to bits of it.
Okay, so then I'm assuming we use the tape to pick up prints.
This is a good reference print for Miss Brent.
Oh, you know something. That ink pad. This is probably something that we're supposed to use to corroborate prints. Hang on. Can we now check the bottle? Let's check that bottle of the antidote. Okay, we have a reference print for her. The antidote that we found by where she died. Died allegedly. Do I still have it, or is it empty now? We might have just gotten rid of it after we drank it. Damn. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, I don't see it. Okay, let's keep on looking for people. Yeah, here's Blore's room. Is Blore in? No, he's not. Well then. Vera's probably in her room if it's locked tight. No way of knowing, though. Are we just chilling in the foyer, maybe? Listen to some tunes? No, I don't see any. How's the next person supposed to die?
I
Mauled by a
copied the
bear?
contents into my notebook.
Yeah, a big bear hugged one and then there were 2. Who the hell is the big bear? Genuinely stumped on that. Okay. Commenter Jeremy said that there was something about this door here. Some object I needed to find. But I'm not sure what it is. Is there anyone in the theater? Oh. Is this the judge's body?
Dead
Judge.
is Hamlet's dad, but not shot. And the body is still warm.
He wasn't shot. Okay, damn, are you actually dead though, Judge?
Better to let the dead rest in peace.
What's up with his head? That doesn't look right. If he wasn't actually shot, then... Bro, what is going on? Are you actually dead this time? Can I use any items on him?
There's nothing I can do for the victim now.
Oh, come on. Who stole his body, though? And what does this say on the wall?
This is certainly a clue of some sort.
Nah. I don't know.
The movies.
Ah, the movies! Okay, yes, and the poor judge is dead, apparently. There's something weird on his head. Is that where the wig went in that we were talking about? Oh, wait a second. Okay, no, this isn't even his body, is it? Yeah, because he's got, like, prints on for a wig to go on. This is it must be a fake body. That's all I can think of. They switched out the real judge for the fake one. I'm in denial, okay? He's not actually dead. He can't be. He's my favorite. Is this a normal cutscene? Going through these doors? Okay, I guess so. Holy shit! Who is this? Is that the doctor?
Looks like his head is caved in.
Oh,
What is
fuck!
it? I heard a cry.
It's Blore. His head's been smashed in by a marble clock in the shape of a bear.
Oh, but there was one on my... Wait there a moment.
You're just gonna kill Blore like that right in front of me? There was no motive.
It was on my mantle. When Philip escorted me to my room, it must have been already gone. One of you. Philip. Or you.
Wait!
The body was
Fucking-
thoroughly searched. No need to disturb it now.
Everyone's just fucking dying left and right now. Wait, can I pick up the bear thing? So that's what we mean by the big bear? Large hunk of marble. Can we dust it for prints? Where's my baster? There it is.
I can't get them to fit.
Okay, never mind then. Oh man. God damn it. Vera, you better have some answers for me. Does this mean Lombard is the killer? Or is it Vera? Or is it neither of them? I don't know anymore. I should just stop with my theories and just see where the game goes at this point. Still have half a mind to think it's Brent. What with having two bodies and all that.
Locked.
Vera, open up. Maybe Lombard's maintaining that bonfire he started. Yeah, I should go out to Shiprock next in case he is.
It's tightly locked.
God, she's shutting herself in. I'll bet it was Brent. Brent got up out of bed and killed him. And she went back to bed and made it look like it was fucking Vera. Ugh, it's such a tricky situation. I do think that the judge and... Never mind. I'll just be quiet. How's our bonfire doing then? It's still going up there. Is Lombard with it? No, he's not.
That's quite a signal fire. Someone should be able to see it.
The beach, maybe? Oh, shit!
Dr. Armstrong. Dead for hours. And by the looks of him, he's been in the sea most of that time.
Chapter 9. Two little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up, and then there was one.
Don't try to get in. I'm pointing the gun at the door.
I'm not the killer!
You're trying to make me believe Philip is the killer.
Armstrong's dead. His body washed up on the rocks. And Wargrave is sitting in the screening room, dead, again.
That's impossible.
He was dead
I
neither
swear
time.
it. This time he was bludgeoned with the law book he wrote. I think that's how he was originally meant to die.
The next rhyme. Two little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up. That means we'll be safe till morning, doesn't it? No one can be frizzled up at night.
Unless we've got a tanning bed somewhere around here. Where the fuck is Lombard? I feel like he's not going to be here this whole chapter, and then we're just going to find his body. Okay. I'm just trying to think logically what I should do next.
Stay away from me! If you try to get in, I'll shoot!
Okay, Vera is not having it. Let's see if the judge's body is still there. I don't know how the doctor could have faked his death. Maybe he's actually dead. No, not that way. We can dispense with the jazzy music. I don't think Vera's gonna sleep with us, Narracott. You're shitting me. There's no way. He's gone again?
This is certainly a clue of some sort.
Make up your mind, Judge! That was such an unceremonious death for Blore, though. He was great. Is his body still there? Maybe we moved the judge's body to his room. I'll check there next. Yeah, Blore's been moved too. He might just be in his bed now. Okay, apparently this is the first moment where I get to pick between the two endings, so I should save the game here. Ending? Okay. Resume. So let's just start having a look around the mansion, is what I'm being told I should do next.
Stay away from me!
Oh,
if
shit,
you
that's
try
her
to get
room.
in, I'll shoot!
Okay, I think the judge's room is somewhere around here. No, this is Vera again. No, it's Brent, not Vera. That's the general's room. Marston's room. Back hallway. This is the judge's room, and now the judge is finally in bed, it would seem.
The body was thoroughly searched. No need to disturb it now.
Well, shit, I guess he's actually dead then.
I don't think going through that would help. Either he's innocent, in which case I'd be grossly invading his privacy, or he's
Narracott, the
guilty,
man is
and surely
dead.
wouldn't be daft enough
The
to
man
leave
is
any evidence
actually
in his
dead
luggage.
before you, Narracott. Stop giving excuses why you can't go through his luggage. I'm not sure where the doctor's body is. Maybe he's still out on the shore. It would have been a long way to carry it. We have a burning fireplace downstairs, don't we? Am I gonna, like, find Lombard's body burnt up by the fire? Please, no. I want more answers out of Lombard before he dies. Okay, good. He's still alive. Or at least, he's not here. If someone's gonna die by being frizzled up by the sun, I'd imagine it happens there. Okay. Let's have a good search of the island. See if we can't find Lombard anywhere. He's not by the Courage the Cowardly Dog windmill. He's not by the apiary. Hello, has this always been here? This weird patch of ground? Can I dig that up?
That isn't going to help.
Okay, maybe that's a rock and it just looks like a rough patch of dirt. Wait. This didn't always look like this. Are these graves being dug? Maybe it just looks different now. I don't know. cutscene at the bonfire? Is Lombard dead?
Too late.
Oh, fuck. That's right.
I'm
There
sorry,
was also
Lombard.
a giant fire here.
You may have left those men to die, but Owen had no right to be your executioner.
Chapter 10. One little sailor boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself, and then there were none.
I hear a voice. No, voices. They're coming from upstairs.
Shit. Okay, this is gonna be ending one, I imagine. So is Vera you and Owen? No, it's not Vera. Maybe it is. I'll be quiet. That is a noose. But no one's hanging yet.
But I don't understand. How can you be here? How
Brent.
could you get into my room so easily?
I've always had a duplicate set of keys.
Yes!
to place on,
I
as a
fucking knew
former
it!
and
No one can die
actually
twice!
Current owner of this house.
You own this house?
I have for several years. I saw to it that Emily Brent died 2 weeks ago. I took her place for the weekend. My finest performance, I think. Worthy of the Oscar the Academy always refused me.
Okay, so she's not actually Brent. This is Gabrielle
Hurt like
Steele.
hell and did nothing for my complexion. But Emily Brent was allergic, not me. It's my apiary after all.
Alright!
Are you?
My name is Gabrielle Steele.
Gabrielle Steele,
You've
yeah.
seen my posters in the screening room.
Conqueror of the head.
actress. Some scandal in Hollywood.
Scandal? Well, I guess if you call trying to kill your leading man a scandal, yes, it was. My final picture, Last of the Borgias, something happened. Lillian Borgia, the character I portrayed. One day on the set, suddenly she was inside my head. She wormed her way in. That's the only way I can think to explain it. Telling me to do things. Showing me how. They called it a breakdown. I now like to think of it as a meeting of two minds.
But why this elaborate plot? Why kill all these people? Why?
Yeah, what's the motive?
Wargrave, of course. He was absolutely right. He was the central character in our little drama.
The Edward Seaton trial?
Yes, Edward Seaton. My love.
Oh.
My life. We met some years ago when I first came to London to star in a play in the West End. Then, after the incident in Hollywood, I came back to England to rest. They wanted me to rest. Edward and I fell in love. I cannot describe to you the depth of our love. You wouldn't understand. I've seen how you flirted with Lombard and Narracott, playing them off against one another.
Narracott, you should probably, like, hit her in the back of the head or something.
And confused.
I suppose that's as good an explanation as any. I was never confused. Edward was an innocent man railroaded by that venomous old judge simply to prove a point. That it was his courtroom, his law. 3 days Edward suffered. He couldn't bear the shame or what it would do to me. He killed himself for me. I wanted Wargrave to suffer those 3 days, watching as death approached, powerless to prevent it.
But why the rest of us?
I met Miss Brent at a resort soon after I arrived in England. Hateful old hag. I think I caught her qualities quite nicely. I heard how she had punished Beatrice Taylor for her so-called sin. Drove her to take her own life, just as Wargrave had driven Edward to suicide.
So really, Brent
I
was
wanted
the
to
first murder.
extend Wargrave's torture for 3 excruciating days. What better way than to make him watch others die? Crimes committed under his very nose. Deaths he was helpless to prevent. How his ego must have been scraped raw.
You researched? Found us all?
Others who had apparently escaped justice, like Miss Brent, with the help of my attorney, Archibald Morris.
How could he agree to help with such a
Wait,
mad plan?
who is the voice
Mad?
of...
Madmen kill for no reason, no sense of justice
Who is
at
the
all.
voice of you and Owen?
I only killed those who deserved to die. And Morris was a perfect little lawyer,
must
asking
be an
no
accomplice.
questions as long as the money was good. He'd been responsible for a few miscarriages of justice on his own, so killing him was not a serious moral dilemma. Then the stage was set. We arrived on my island, and the play began. The trickiest part was goading Armstrong into getting so drunk he wouldn't notice the imperceptible pulse that remained after I took the curare. A few bee stings, and then a liberal application of Bellman's universal embrocation to complete the effect. It causes a nasty rash. He saw what he expected to see, a severe allergic reaction that can only result in death.
All
You
right.
killed the judge twice.
Hardly. The first time was some fool scheme he cooked up on his
Knew
own
it!
with Armstrong, so he could pretend to be dead and catch Mr. Owen. I admit stealing Miss Brent's grey yarn and fashioning a wig from it was a nice touch. I was so angry. I couldn't think who had done it or why. I thought braining him with his own law book would be enough to fit the Chancery rhyme.
If you shoot me, you'll be arrested. Patrick will catch you.
I'll deal with Mr. Narracott presently. Then I'll take poison. This ring I wear is a prop from the Borgia movie. Came in very handy this weekend. First for Marston, then Ethel, then my own Curari. And now, here we are. Once I'm dead, you can hang yourself and complete the rhyme.
Oh, that's
And
so
if I
courteous.
refuse to hang myself?
My dear, what do you think will happen to you if you're the only person found alive on an island with 10 dead bodies? If you don't hang yourself, the law most certainly will.
Patrick!
Okay. Are we literally just going to talk to her?
Can't risk grabbing for the gun. She'd surely get a shot off before I reached her.
Okay. Hit her in the back of the head with a shovel,
I
maybe?
have to do something. Fast. But that isn't it.
Well, shit. What are we gonna do? Flashlight?
I have to do something. Fast. But that isn't it.
Fuck, she's gonna shoot Vera if we're not fast enough. Hit her in the back of the head with a film reel. That'd be really ironic.
I have to do something. Fast. But that isn't it.
Okay, that didn't work, no. Leave. I didn't think that would be an option.
You killed her, Narracott.
Oh, damn. Why did she drop the gun? Oh boy. The noose caught her.
The tickets are all booked. Suitcases are in the boot of the taxi. We're all set.
Thanks, Pat.
Don't thank me. If I'd been
Hey, it's our
able to
brother.
save at least one person on Shipwreck Island, they could have corroborated Blor's confession. You'd be cleared and we wouldn't be running to
Are
Australia.
you sure you have to go?
Fred, there are 10 bodies on that island waiting to be discovered. Mr. Owen was right. The law
We're
would
fugitives
see
now.
that the last little sailor boy hangs.
Silence, please. I have prepared a special reward for you. The original ending to our little story is somewhat different than the one you have just experienced.
Huh.
If you can complete a final puzzle, childishly simple really, you will be able to learn the original solution to "And Then There Were None," as Dame Agatha Christie first wrote it.
Look at this.
Interested? Then your first step is to make your way to the dining room for a final treat.
I'm gonna open the door, and it's just gonna be the judge, and he's gonna shoot me in the face. Okay, I think that was an alternate ending. That wasn't the original ending, what we just got, actually. Very interesting. So, what happens in here? So this is gonna be, you know, spoilers, of course. This is gonna be the solution, I guess, to the book originally. What's in the dining room? One sailor boy. How about that?
The last little sailor boy.
Have a look at him.
I see nothing remarkable.
Okay, what do we do with it? Childishly simple, he said. Okay, give me a second. It's got to be a riddle of some kind. Am I supposed to put the sailor boy in the noose? And then he'll let me live?
That isn't the best place for me to go at the moment.
Put him in the fireplace, maybe? Just chuck him in there? Stupid jazzy music playing. Oh, man.
That
Fire?
doesn't make sense.
No. What does the rhyme say? He went and hanged himself and then there were none. Do I have any kind of cord? Can I fashion a noose the size of the sailor boy? I don't know. I'm not sure what this riddle is. Okay. I was really close. It is the screening room. Apparently there is a tiny footprint somewhere over here. This thing right here? That is so hard to see. Okay, the sailor boy goes right here. Now what? Does this open the one drawer? This drawer? Hello again. It's another film reel. Okay, so spoilers for the original Agatha Christie, and then there were none, in case you care.
Perhaps another time.
Come on, let me play it.
That isn't such a good idea.
It's a... Oh, do I need to take it out of the case?
I'm afraid it's stuck that way. I see nothing remarkable.
Oh, I needed to take that one out first. Okay. Now let's put it in.
The film has been spooled.
Let's play it. 3 days. Oh, that's what it said. I could have sworn it said F. It was an F at the end.
I wonder what that was all about.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what that's about. Okay.
I wonder what that was all about.
How might I be able to interpret that? We're supposed to lower the screen if it's up. So we just come back over here and crank it down. Oh, there's the string. It's super hard to see. How are you going to reach that? Okay, now we can play that reel. I guess that 3 days thing was always a clue that we could have seen. Too bad I didn't try.
From my earliest youth, I realized that my nature was a mass of contradictions. I have an incurably romantic imagination, and it was for this reason that I adopted a rather childish and unreliable approach, writing my confession, enclosing it in a bottle, and casting it into the waves. There is 100 to 1 chance that this confession may be found, and then a hitherto unsolved murder mystery will be explained. Another trait born of my contradictory nature is my sadistic delight in causing death. From an early age, I knew very strongly the lust to kill. And yet, I was also indoctrinated with a strong sense of justice. I have always felt that the innocent should be spared and the guilty punished. With this mental makeup, it was inevitable that I would adopt the law as my profession. After ascending to the bench, I found that most of my baser desires were quenched in a legal and just way. And yet of late, I have felt a nagging urge, one that will not free me from its insistent grip. That is the urge to commit a murder myself. I fancied myself an artist in crime, and my imagination waxed secretly to this colossal force. However, I was restrained by my innate sense of justice. The innocent must not suffer. And then, quite suddenly, the solution came to me. I would punish those that the law could not touch. In my years on the bench, there were many cases that frustrated my will, cases wherein I knew the accused to be guilty, and yet the evidence was such that he could never be convicted. Cases of deliberate murder that were quite untouchable within the confines of the law. So I determined to commit not just one murder, but murder on a grand scale. A childish rhyme of my infancy came back to me, the rhyme of the 10 little sailor boys. Something about it fascinated me, the inexorable diminishment, the sense of inevitability. And so I began, secretly, to collect victims. I will not go into detail about how this was accomplished. Suffice to say, I was convinced of the guilt of every one of my victims, and I knew enough about them via my connections to be able to lure each one to Shipwreck Island with an appropriate bait. And now to the mechanics of the actual crime. In what I took as a sign, none of my plans misfired, and all of my guests arrived at Shipwreck Island on the 8th of August. The party included myself. The order of the deaths were dictated by what I viewed as my victims' varying degrees of guilt. Those whose guilt was lightest should go first, and not suffer the increasing mental strain and fear reserved for the more cold-blooded offenders. The first death had already occurred. Archibald Morris, a shady little dope peddler, had set up the details for me, renting the island, sending the letters, and recording the gramophone record before I ended his life with a dose of potassium cyanide. Anthony Marsden and Mrs. Rogers died next, one instantaneously, the other in a peaceful sleep. Marsden's crime was one of circumstance and his amoral nature. Mrs. Rogers, I had no doubt, acted largely under the influence of her husband. Their murders were the easiest. Poison easily slipped into a glass for each of them, as at this point no one had any reason to be suspicious. General Mackenzie met his death quite painlessly and never heard me approach. I am convinced that he was dead long before he ever came to Shipwreck Island. At this point, I found it necessary to recruit an ally. Dr. Armstrong seemed the most suited to this task, as it was inconceivable to him that a man of my standing could be a murderer. He was taken in with no resistance. I killed Rogers on the morning of the 10th. He too did not hear me approach. During the chaos arising from finding his body, I slipped into Lombard's room and abstracted his revolver. At breakfast, I slipped my last dose of poison into Miss Brent's coffee. It was enough to render her unconscious, and I returned a short time later to inject a strong dose of cyanide into her. It was just after this that I intimated to Armstrong that we must carry our plan into effect, that I must appear to be the next victim. This would, perhaps, rattle the murderer, and at any rate would allow me to move about the house and spy on whom I wished. A gunshot and some red mud on the forehead was all it took. After all, it was only Armstrong who examined me closely. After returning the revolver to Lombard's room, I had a rendezvous set up with Armstrong on the edge of a cliff. He was still quite unsuspicious, although he ought to have been warned by the nursery rhyme, "A red herring swallowed one." Once at the cliff, I uttered an exclamation, leaned over the cliff. Wasn't that the mouth of a cave? He leaned right over. A swift push sent him quickly into the heaving sea below. He took the red herring, all right. And now came the moment I had anticipated. 3 people who were so frightened of each other that anything might happen. And one of them had a revolver. I watched them from the windows of the house. When Blore came up alone, I had the big marble clock poised ready. Exit, Blore. From my window, I saw Vera shoot Lombard. I always thought she was a match for him and more. I then immediately set the stage in her bedroom. It was an interesting experiment. Would the knowledge of her own guilt, the hypnotic suggestion of her surroundings, and the nervous tension of having just shot a man be enough to coerce her into taking her own life? It was. Vera Claythorne hanged herself before my very eyes as I stood in the shadow of the wardrobe. And now I shall finish writing this. I shall enclose it and seal it in a bottle and throw the bottle into the sea. Why? Yes. Why? I suppose I have a pitiful human wish that someone should know just how clever I have been. I must go now and finish this. It is essential that my body be found in accordance with the record kept by my fellow victims. My own life is of no consequence. My doctors tell me I have a month to live at most. I do not wish to die the death of the invalid patient, steeped to the gills in drugs, culminating in a complete loss of human dignity. I will instead be found laid neatly in my bed, shot through the forehead. When the sea goes down, there will come from the mainland boats and men, and they will find 10 dead bodies and an unsolved problem on Shipwreck Island. Signed, Lawrence Wargrave.
Lawrence Wargrave, okay. Alright, and then we have our credits here. So, Wargrave was the original killer then, in the original story. Very interesting. Let's go grab an alternate ending. Rather, I think the intended ending. So if I load this save right here, and then, let me think, where am I? We need to go out and find Lombard's body, right? Give me a second. I'm gonna check the guide to see how I get these other endings. Okay, so apparently, if we waste time, Lombard dies, and if we just go right to the shipwreck bonfire, then he will actually live, and we can save him. So, let's see if I wasted enough time reading that, and if he's actually still alive. Nah, he went kablooey. Okay, I gotta reload that.
Chapter 10.
They're coming from upstairs.
Okay, so it seems to me like I might have messed that up, and that I saved the game too late. I can go back and get that ending where I save Lombard and see what happens, but not yet. First, let's go ahead and get this ending.
I will yourself, the law most certainly will.
Patrick!
Okay, that was forever to get her to stop talking. What we're supposed to do is take the large hunk of marble and bash her hand. Oh no, you dropped your gun. Okay, so now we're gonna get her to hang herself again. Okay, so this is the ending where we save Vera. Sticklehaven. So now we don't have to go to
Sorry
Australia.
I wasn't in time to save Lombard. If only I'd gotten to Shiprock sooner.
He was responsible for the deaths of 21 men, Patrick. I don't know what I ever saw in him. Will you listen to me now?
If you insist.
Hugo and Cyril went down to the beach early that day. By the time I arrived, Cyril was out too far. It was too late to reach him. Hugo claimed he had been distracted helping a passerby with directions. I knew how it would look. I thought I loved him. So I told the coroner's inquest that it was I who had been on the beach. Later, when I was cleared, Hugo was jubilant. Yet his feelings for me seemed to have vanished. I realized I had served my purpose. How would it have looked if the boy who stood between him and a fortune died while in his charge? He didn't think he'd done anything wrong. That was the most frightening part. Cyril wanted to swim out to the rocks. All Hugo did was let him.
Mr. Owen invited the wrong guest. It should have been Hugo out there.
No. I should have told the police the truth in the first place. I will now. I have no more right to subvert justice than Mr. Owen. Where is your brother?
Plymouth, turning himself in. Thanks to your statement, he's sure to be exonerated.
And us?
Are you still confused?
No. I'm certain now. What about you?
Well, there's another ending to that 10 Little Sailor Boys rhyme. One little sailor boy left all alone. He got married, and then there were none.
Bro, no, no, please. Bring Lombard back from the dead. Well then, that's a happier ending.
Silence, please. I have
Okay, this
prepared
again.
a special reward for you.
Okay, this is going to take me a minute because I'm going to have to go back to some older saves, but I am going to try to get the ending where Lombard lives. Alright, yeah, this is new.
No tricks, Narracott, or I'll light you up like Guy Fawkes.
Lombard, listen to me. Blore is dead. Armstrong's dead. So is Wargrave. You're next. You have to be.
That may be your plan, but it won't work.
There's no way Owen can approach you without being seen. Correct?
As we're proving right now.
So it must be some sort of trap. Already set before you came up here.
What sort of trap?
The rhyme. 2 little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up. The only thing approaching the sun on this island right now is that fire. Get away from it.
Oh, shit.
I like a good explosion as much as the next fella, but not when I'm the target.
So it was like a
I owe you
pipe
an
bomb in there.
apology, Narracott, and my thanks for saving my life.
Believe me, I wasn't sure. You out of everyone had been responsible for the most deaths.
Your detecting skills played you false there, old boy. You see, I'm not Philip Lombard. My name
Oh.
is Charles Morley. Got papers to prove it, too. Phil was a friend of mine. He committed suicide a couple of weeks ago. I was at his place when the solicitor Morris rang up. It sounded
Oh.
suspicious. I thought it might have something to do with Phil's death. I wanted to get to the bottom of it, so I came along in his place. Besides, 100 guineas is 100 guineas.
So you're no murderer.
I'll confess I've thought of murdering you more than once the past few days.
Listen, Lombard. Morley. I need to ask you a terrific favor.
You've earned the right.
Can you play dead for a while? Stay out of sight.
Vera must be the killer.
The jury's still out as far as I'm concerned. But if Owen thinks you're out of the way, he may try for me.
Or Vera, if she's innocent.
Which is why I have to get back to the house.
Say, old man, if you want to get into the house without making a racket, the window to my bathroom is open. I used it to get out on the balcony and, make sure Vera was safe.
Uh-huh. Okay, thanks for the tip. Will you lie low? Come running if there's trouble.
It'll be a pleasure to return the favor, old man.
Okay, finally, that is over again. So, we can now... that cutscene is like 5 minutes, and you cannot skip it every time. So I'm gonna have to do that one more time yet. Where is our marble clunk? Here we go. Disarm UN Owen. Alright, let's see this ending where all 3 of us live. Who's Vera gonna choose?
Thank you, Charles.
That's right. If you ever need a break from Narracott, Charles Morley is in the London Directory. Treat her right, Narracott. As far as I'm concerned, you're a better man in a tight spot than Phil ever was. This little sailor
Aw.
boy isn't going near the sea for a long time to come.
He's
Will you listen to
backing
me
down.
now?
If you insist.
Hugo and Cyril went down to the beach early that day. By the
We've
time
heard
I
this.
arrived, Cyril was out too far. It was too late to reach him. Hugo claimed he had been distracted helping a passerby with directions. I knew how it would look. I thought I loved him. So I told the coroner's inquest that it was I who had been on the beach. Later, when I was cleared, Hugo was jubilant, yet his feelings for me seemed to have vanished. I realized I had served my purpose. How would it have looked if the boy who stood between him and a fortune died while in his charge? He didn't think he'd done anything wrong. That was the most frightening part. Cyril wanted to swim out to the rocks. All Hugo did was let him.
Mr. Owen invited the wrong guest. It should have been Hugo out there.
No. I should have told the police the truth in the first place. I will now. I have no more right to subvert justice than Mr. Owen. Where is your brother?
Plymouth, turning himself in. Thanks to your and Lombard, Morley's statements, he's sure to be exonerated.
And us?
Are you still confused?
No. I'm certain now. What about you?
Well, there's another ending to that 10 little sailor boys rhyme. One
This
little
shit
sailor
again.
boy left all alone. He got married, and then there were none.
Bye, Vera.
You killed her, Narracott.
Can't believe that happened 4 times in a row. What are the odds?
Thanks for writing that statement, Lombard. I mean, Morley.
My pleasure. Law's confession should easily exonerate your brother.
I owe you one.
After saving my life? We're not even, old man. I still owe you. You remember to look for Charles Morley in the London Directory if you ever need anything. As far as I'm concerned, you're a better man in a tight spot than Lombard ever was.
That's pleasant of him.
So long. This little sailor boy isn't going near the sea for a long time to come.
All right, then.
Silence, please.
And I'll skip this
I
again.
have prepared a special...
Okay, that was Agatha Christie, and Then There Were None. I had fun with that one. That was a clever little mystery game. There's a lot of times where it makes you feel clever. It was not without its flaw, but I can forgive a lot of things for an old game, and because of that, I think it was a really fun experience. Definitely had a lot of fun with the glitches in the last couple of episodes, because that shit was kind of wacky. Otherwise, totally, I was right about the culprit. I had my suspicions, partially ironically, because there was a glitch that made me suspicious of Brent. But nope, I stuck to it, almost as a joke, and I had it. So that's I mean, last time I was kind of right, but Greta Olsen didn't take all the fall, but still. Oh, man. Anyways, that was a good one. I enjoyed the whole judge and the doctor subplot. I was so certain that was going to come back, but I guess it didn't, which, that's too bad, but what are you going to do? Otherwise, thanks for sticking around, everybody. Julian's back in town, so I think we're going to play ND Let's Play next, and record some more commentary for one of those, so I am excited for that. But otherwise, I'm looking forward to playing another mystery game, another blind one. I've been having a lot of fun with these, and I've been having a lot of fun reading your comments through them, too. So thanks so much, everybody, for sticking around for another Agatha Christie mystery, and don't forget to vote for Holt.